Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode. Colorado's starting to get colder now. We're halfway through October, so we actually had our first snow. So with that being said, might as well, bring out the bro tank since gotta reminisce about summer and warm weather before everywhere ices off. But anyways, let's jump right into this episode. This one was from last spring. For this throwback. We were out at Horsetooth Reservoir. For those of you, especially in Colorado, everyone knows about Horsetooth. A lot of smallmouth. I've made 2 videos on it already too. This is just kind of a normal like pre-fish day, or not pre-fish, pre-spawn day. Yeah, I'll just jump right into talking about it. So for the most part, today was that day was very normal in the sense of how horsetooth fishes. For the most part, they mainly feed on the rainbow smelt and shad in the lake. So with that being said, certain things work. Like there's a lot of range of baits that work this time of year, in my opinion. The main one being, especially in this video, what you'll see is catching them on the jerkbait. The big one in the thumbnail that I have, that was 211. 2 pounds 11 ounces. That one I didn't get on film. I got my buddy's big one, which is actually this clip here, on film at least. Which that one was like 210 or 29. I don't remember exactly what it was, but still, a solid fish. But for the most part, a lot of these fish, like they were spitting up rainbow smelt and shad the whole time. The weather kind of kept going back and forth between being overcast and being just bright and clear. When it was clear, we were throwing like little swim baits and spoons and whatnot, and we were, they were biting on that kind of stuff when it was kind of brighter out. But when that overcast hit, jerkbait all day. We got a lot of fish, mainly on the jerkbait. I feel like that was our more numbers bait. And our biggest one technically did come off of a jerkbait, but kind of a bigger-ish size came off the little swim bait. But I mean, we caught a few small ones on the spoon too. But like I know for a fact, if we threw that spoon a lot longer, we could have caught some better ones off that. But anyway, so for the jerkbait, just kind of a quick tip, because this is how I caught my big one. Whenever you're fishing a jerkbait, it doesn't matter if it's in Colorado, anywhere out west, or even up north or east. If the water's clear enough, watch the jerkbait come when you bring it back to the boat, because a lot of the time you'll have followers. And depending on how you play those followers, you can either catch them or at least get them to at least stay interested before they spot the boat and get spooked. So with that being said, a lot of the time what I try to do is I try to see the behavior. So like today they were hitting it on the pause. So like if I twitched it a little bit and just let it sit there, the majority of the time they'd just come up and just come up slowly though, and just kind of like just nip at it. And a lot of the time when they did that, it was just kind of it kind of depended on where they hit it. If they kind of hit it where I didn't have any trebles or something, then half the time I didn't get it. But a lot of the times, if you time it right, even if they hit it, like let's say T-bone it where there's no trebles, if you just set the hook, most of the time you can kind of snag them at least, instead of just completely missing them. But yeah, that's my quick tip for you guys, especially for those of you that don't really throw jerk baits. For kind of, in my experience, a lot of lakes around here with smallmouth in it, even if it's not super clear, I feel like that's a bait that you can almost throw any time during the year, even during the heat of summer. It's all about how quick you fish it, how aggressive it is. So for the most part, like earlier in the year, I play around with either going like really fast and really hard cuts and whatnot, to going slow and just having it pause a lot longer. Like this year, for example, I caught most of my fish on the pause, just kind of letting it sit there for a little while, especially for some of the bigger ones. You know, just like I've mentioned before, you know, you try to pattern it out that way. The year before that, it was more aggressive, quicker, just very quick. So like a lot of the times they were just hitting it like as soon as like while I was jerking it. Like sometimes I would not even have a pause. And then even the year before that, like I didn't like pause it too much, but like I did very subtle like jerks, like really slow kind of jerks. So this thing was just kind of like, you know, moseying along in the water column. But a lot of the times, these fish, you know, they're chasing bait, but like they're going after the singled out bait fish. And horsetooth, a lot of the fish do that a lot of the time. So when you find bait, you'll see them single them out. And that's why the jerkbait excels in a lot of certain situations, especially like that. Any like with bait fish, you know, that's what you can throw as a jerkbait. Honestly, I underutilize it in the sense of I only really throw it at horsetooth. With that being said, I feel like, you know, it's one of those baits that everyone thinks that doesn't think about. You know, I know everyone kind of has a bait like that where, oh, I don't think about it because I always throw it, let's say, like in my situation, horsetooth. But honestly, I could throw it at Boyd, I could throw it at Lone Tree, I could throw it at Lon Haggler. It's just, most of the time, I feel like something else will work better. But with that being said, since I don't throw that too often, there's a lot of times where looking back, I'm like, you know, I should have thrown it more. Okay, guys, so for the most part, for baits, like I mentioned before, it's a lot of just like shad imitation. So anything from like a jerk bait to a crankbait to swim baits to spoons to even drop shot, which in this video I didn't throw any, but in a video from this year, that's what I was throwing when I was throwing jerk baits, was a few drop shots, kind of like this. You got to match the hatch with a drop shot, you know, normal drop shot, boom. But what I was going to mainly show you and talk about is going to be kind of jerk baits. So jerk baits, in my opinion, there's no like right answer in the sense of, oh, what brand's better. I feel like a lot of the time it's personal preference. Obviously there's going to be better brands and better jerk baits out there, but it's all based off of you know, your opinion, kind of what you like and what you're used to and what you have confidence in. So I was just going to go through and just kind of show you guys a lot of the jerk baits I have. So like, for example, like this guy's a bomber, got this guy years ago. I don't use him too often, but there's a very few circumstances where I actually find myself throwing this. And then, you know, just kind of, oh, well, missing a hook there. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's like, you know, like I like to have a variety of colors. Even though I don't throw jerkbaits too often, I feel like it's always a good way to get it. Like, I mean, like even like here, it's like this Rapala X-Rap and even this Rapala Husky jerk. I don't really have any other Husky jerks because I actually lost some when I was pike fishing. But the point is, you know, there's all these jerk baits all have different actions, alright? So a lot of these, some of them will have more of a erratic like back and forth kind of deal. Some will kind of like 360 a little, or not 360, 180 a little better. Some will kind of like be a little more subtle, kind of like, you know, just barely going back and forth. While a lot of these other ones, you know, like I said, it's just kind of what you're looking for and kind of like how aggressive the fish are. Like if you're finding out that they're being very, what's the word, lethargic and whatnot when it comes to like chasing after the bait, and they're just, you know, they're chasing it, but they're not like wanting to just crush and destroy it, then it, you know, it depends both on the retrieve and the jerkbait. So I feel like jerkbait fishing is one of those deals where you can get very technical with it. So that's why when I throw jerkbaits, I try to keep it very simple by throwing mainly two different kinds and just messing with two different types of retrieve, in the sense of one that's very aggressive and very fast to one that's very, it's a little aggressive just for that reaction, but I go slow and give it a lot of pause. So for the most part, that's kind of where you build off of, especially if you're trying to pattern the bigger fish. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. This is kind of a bit of a two-parter because we literally went out like a day after this video, so I'll be putting that up pretty quick. I mean, it's gonna be very similar because it was just we were going fishing with our buddy that lived down in Denver. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, yada yada yada, all that stuff. But really, it means a lot. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Hopefully I see you guys out in the water, and tight lines.